A lot of the decisions around plastic production and design is actually determined in far-flung countries, the richer countries, and then the impact is felt much more on the ground in low and middle income countries. Can you imagine a country like Kenya, which is in the category of low medium income country, has to spend $150 to $200 to manage 1 kilo of plastic, compared to a developed wealthy country that will only need to spend $19 to manage that kilo of plastic. And most importantly, Kenya is not even on the table in terms of design and in terms of limiting the production of this plastic. So the reason why we want a global legally binding treaty, just like in the Paris Agreement for climate, then we would need targets that would essentially move countries, for example, to move from unnecessary, problematic, and unrecyclable products to a standard that says all countries, all producers must create products by these standards that are all recyclable, so that we do not have a huge percentage of the materials ending up either in the dump site or being incinerated, that essentially fuels more extraction of fossil fuel to feed into the exponential growth. So.
In 2019, for example, China refused to take plastic imports. So right now, countries in the global north are trying to look for an alternative home for their plastics, which is very expensive if it was to be dumped in Africa. It might cost a lot of resources in terms of capacity, but also the infrastructure requirement that's required to handle these plastics is very costly to African economies.
There's still a lack of getting more capacity because we're in a growing country. So with growth, there comes more waste packaging that is being consumed, and with consumption, there also comes more waste. So I think the capacity being way behind of what is actually being output in terms of waste, and we can definitely, and we need to actually definitely catch up with more recycling capacity to be able to tackle the problem. Europe and the United States, they have other challenges that they face. They need to transition from a linear to a circular economy. We in Africa, we have the beauty, we can jump and we can leapfrog into a circular economy directly. And that needs funding, that needs committed organizations like Mr. Green Africa's in these nations, and of course government who creates the policies that enable this kind of development.